There's a certain frustration that only gardeners know. You water, you plant, you fertilize, yet your soil still feels flat, lifeless, and unresponsive. The surface is dull, hard, and dry within hours. The plants grow but sluggishly, like they're trying to run a marathon in mud. I had one bed like this, my problem bed, and I honestly considered ripping everything out and starting over. But then I tried a blend that worked so fast it felt like cheating. Not in months, not even in weeks. I saw signs of life in days. Worms were moving in, the soil turned darker and crumblier, and plants that had been barely holding on began to perk up like they'd been given an oxygen mask. At first I wasn't going to share the recipe. It's a strange mix, something I learned by piecing together advice from old gardeners, tropical farmers, and even a few permaculture experiments. It's not just one ingredient, it's a chain reaction in a jar, a combination of natural elements that, when applied to soil, wakes up the underground life almost instantly. And the best part? It works no matter what you're growing. Vegetables, flowers, fruit trees, even potted plants. But before we get to the blend, let's talk about what dead soil really means, and why normal fixes don't work fast enough. Dead soil doesn't always look bad on the surface. Sometimes it's dusty and pale, but sometimes it's deceptively dark. The real issue isn't color, it's life. Healthy soil is like a bustling city of microbes, fungi, and earthworms all working together. Dead soil is like a ghost town. It has little to no microbial activity, very little organic matter, poor water retention, and almost no structure for roots to navigate. Plants in dead soil can survive, but they struggle. Fertilizers might green them up for a while, but without the living network beneath the surface, those nutrients can wash away, lock up, or simply fail to reach the plant in the right form. That's why the real fix for dead soil isn't just feeding plants, it's feeding the life that supports them. And that's exactly what this blend does. Alright folks, here's the mix that changed everything. Aloe vera slurry, kelp meal, a rotten banana blend, molasses water, and worm casting tea. Each of these ingredients is powerful on its own, but together they form a nutrient and microbe super cocktail that soil life just can't resist. Aloe vera slurry is packed with enzymes, amino acids, and plant hormones like auxins and gibberellins that stimulate root growth and microbial activity. Kelp meal brings over 60 trace minerals, plus natural growth hormones that encourage resilience in plants and microbes alike. Now, rotten bananas might sound odd, but their breakdown releases potassium, phosphorus, and sugars that feed both plants and soil bacteria. Molasses water is pure microbial fuel. It's like pouring energy drinks into the soil food web. And worm casting tea is already a concentrated brew of beneficial bacteria, fungi, and plant-available nutrients, ready to multiply once they hit the soil. So when this blend hits the soil, several things happen in quick succession. The sugars from the bananas and molasses feed bacteria almost immediately, triggering a bloom of microbial activity. These microbes, in turn, start breaking down organic matter and releasing nutrients in plant-friendly forms. The enzymes and hormones from the aloe and kelp help plant roots respond faster, pushing out new feeder roots to take advantage of the changing soil conditions. The worm-casting tea seeds the soil with a living community of decomposers, who not only consume organic matter, but also produce worm castings right there in your beds, adding more nutrients in a slow-release form. The kelp's trace minerals fill in the nutritional gaps that many soils have, boosting plant immunity and balancing the soil's chemistry. And perhaps most importantly, all of this happens while moisture is being held in the organic matrix, keeping the environment perfect for worms to move in and stay. Now to prepare it, start with 2 large aloe vera leaves. Scrape out the gel, blend it with a cup of water until smooth, and set aside. In a separate container, mash 2 overripe bananas until they're a thick paste. Combine this with 2 tablespoons of kelp meal and 1 tablespoon of unsulfured molasses. Pour in a liter of fresh worm casting tea, then add the aloe slurry and stir until fully mixed. If it's too thick, add more water until you have a pourable consistency. Apply the mix directly to the soil around the base of plants, focusing on the root zone but avoiding direct contact with stems. For raised beds or in-ground gardens, pour slowly so it soaks in, rather than running off. For potted plants, use sparingly. A small cup per plant is enough. In most cases, this can be repeated every 2 to 3 weeks during the growing season. So, within the first few days you may notice the soil surface staying moist a bit longer and, taking on a slightly richer color. By the end of the first week, if you dig just a few inches down, You might see these fine root hairs reaching into new spaces, along with small clusters of worms if they're present in your area. Plants that were kinda slow to grow often show a visible perk-up. Leaves may look glossier, stems firmer, and new growth points more active. And then over a month or two, the entire soil bed just feels looser and crumblier, holding water better while still draining freely. The transformation isn't just physical, it's biological. The microbial diversity increases, and with it, the natural disease suppression and nutrient cycling that make gardens low maintenance over time. Traditional compost is an incredible resource, but it works slowly, releasing nutrients over months as it breaks down. This blend, on the other hand, is partially pre-digested for the soil life. The banana is already breaking down, the aloe is instantly bioavailable, the molasses is soluble sugar, and the worm tea is alive with ready-to-work microbes. It's like, skipping the line at the compost queue and heading straight for the soil's express lane. That speed makes it perfect for reviving soil mid-season, or for helping struggling plants recover quickly. And unlike synthetic fertilizers, it doesn't burn roots or disrupt soil biology, it enhances it. The beauty of this mix is its versatility. It works in sandy soil by boosting organic matter and moisture retention. It works in clay by encouraging worm tunneling and crumb structure. It benefits heavy feeders like tomatoes and roses just as much as it helps delicate greens or fruit trees. Even houseplants respond, though in smaller doses. It's safe, natural, and adaptable. Honestly, the kind of tool every gardener should have in their arsenal. Dead soil isn't the end of a garden. It's an opportunity to rebuild from the ground up. With the right combination of ingredients, you can create a soil environment that's irresistible to worms, microbes, and plant roots. This aloe, kelp, banana, molasses, and worm tea blend is more than a fertilizer. It's a living soil starter, a jumpstart to an underground ecosystem that can keep feeding your plants long after you apply it. Try it in one bed or on a few plants first, watch the results, and then scale it up. Once you see what living soil can do, you'll never want to garden in dead dirt again. For more soil revival methods, plant health tips, and proven organic gardening hacks, subscribe to Hydrohaven and share this video with other gardeners. The more people we help bring life back to their soil, the richer our gardens and our planet will be.